Copyright 2014, Math Diagnostics and Intervention, all rights reserved. We're going to learn when three side lengths make up a triangle and when they do not. So let's suppose that we have three side lengths of 2, 4, and 9. And we want to know if these three lengths will form a triangle or not. In this case, they will not form a triangle, and here's why. Let's start off with our side length of 9, and we'll put it down here. And then let's suppose that we have a side length of 2, and let's stick it over here on our left. And then let's say we have the side length of 4, and let's stick it over here on our right. Now, if I bring these two down to that side length of 9, if I arc this down this way, and I arc this one down this way, what I'm going to have here is I'm going to get to a length of 2 here, and I'm going to get to a length of 4 here, which means that I've got a total of 6. This plus this is 6, and it won't reach the full length of 9. And since I can't completely get to that length of 9, these three side lengths will not form a triangle. Now, let's take a look at an example that will form a triangle. If I have the side lengths of 10, 11, and 17, these will form a triangle. Again, let's take a look at this. And if I have the biggest one here is my side length of 17, and we end up with two other side lengths. We end up with our side length on the left, let's call that one 10, and let's call the one on the right the 11. And since 10, let's make that 11. Not another 10. So, because 10 plus 11 is 21, they will more than cover the 17 as my base, and they will form a 10, 11, 17 triangle. Now, the key part here is what is the shortest and the longest length that I can get if I'm given two sides of a triangle. So let's consider that. Let's suppose that we have two sides of a triangle, and the two sides of the triangle that we have been given are 9 and 5. Those are two lengths of our triangle. So if I consider my 5 and 9, my 5 over here, and my 9 over here, if I was to open those up, the longest that I could make that length would be 14. So if I imagine a third side over here, the longest that side could be is 14, at which point I would get a line segment. So my third side here has to be at least a little bit less than 14. Now let's consider what happens as this 5 here swings toward my side length of 9. So if we have the 9 here, and my 5 here, if I swing that 5 in closer, the length here becomes 4. So that third length of the triangle that I get here has to be a little bit bigger than 4. If it's exactly 4, I form a line segment again. We can't have a line segment forming a triangle, so it has to be a little bit bigger than 4. So this tells us that for this case here, where I have a 9 and a 5 as two sides of my triangle, that the third side of the triangle has to be between 4. It's going to be less than, I'm going to call it T for the third side of the triangle, and that third side of the triangle has to be smaller than 14. So because of this hinging process, okay, our triangle inequality theorem says that our triangle has to be at least 4, that third side of the triangle has to be at least 4 when we swing that in, and can be no bigger than 14 when we swing it out. Now notice that when we swing it out, the largest it can be is the first side plus the second side, where we have 14 equals 9 plus 5. And the smallest it can be, the 4, is equal to 9 minus 5. And that will hold true for any two sides of a triangle. So if I give you any two sides of the triangle, you can give me the third side possibilities by saying the larger side minus the smaller side, and then the two sides added together, and that would be the smallest and the largest that our third side can be. So let's take a look at that real quick. So let's suppose that we have side lengths of, well, let's make it 18 and 30. Why not? Okay, the largest that third side of the triangle can be would be 18 plus 30, which would be 48. And the smallest that third side could be would be 30 minus 18, which is 12. So that third side of the triangle has to be at least 12, has to be bigger than 12, and then it has to be smaller than 48. So the third side has to be between 12 and 48, and the third side cannot be either 12 or 48. Good luck!